Community Matters.
Welcome to today's installment of Legacy Chronicles, honoring the past and shaping the future. I'm Donna Rosenblum, Director of Education here at hmTV, and I am your host of our podcast today. And I have the real pleasure of introducing two fabulous young ladies, and we're going to be talking about a special project that was their brainchild. So I don't want to take any glory away from them. I'm going to ask each of them to introduce themselves. So first, why don't you just introduce yourselves and tell us where you're from?
Hi, I'm Romy Fruman, and we're from Hewlett, Long Island.
Mm-hmm. Hi, my name's Harley. We're from George W. Hewlett, well, now going to Hewlett High School.
Right, starting in September, right?
Yes, exciting.
So we went from middle school to high school,
Yes.
all right? And this year you learned about something called the kinder transport
Yes.
in school. So tell me a little bit, one of you, tell me a little bit about the kinder transport and why it gripped you the way that it did.
So this year in 8th grade, we had a history fair. And from that, we decided to do a documentary. And our teacher, Miss Durney, decided that she would think it's a good and educational topic because it was empowering and it was a hopeful part in the Holocaust, which was like amazing.
Right.
So we decided that to make it even more special, we would meet with Manfred Corman, former survivor of the kinder transport, and son-in-law and daughter of Susie Rosenstock, Elaine Pizer, and Alan Pizer.
Wow.
Yes, and they taught us about their story, and we listened, and we were just like so fascinated, and like it really touched us the way that they spoke, and it was just so amazing. And that from that point on, we realized like, wow, we need to like educate people about this because it's not a known about topic.
Exactly. Beautifully stated. Romy?
And basically what the kinder transport was, it was a rescue mission that helped save 10,000 lives from all across Eastern Europe. And it brought these children safely out of war area to Britain, where there they would meet up with a foster family. And even though they had to adapt to like new culture, it was very difficult. But at the same time, they got to escape of the horrors of the Holocaust. And yeah, and if they were lucky enough, they got to reunite with their family, but unfortunately, some of them couldn't.
Yeah, 90%. 90% didn't
So
reunite
horrible.
with their families. Think about that.
So
Statistic
sad.
is very difficult to
It
comprehend.
was so hopeful, but at the same time, like so scary because you didn't know like
Right,
what was
like
going to happen.
so like Manny talks about how he and his brother were in England and he had no idea. I mean, and
He
he
would
was
never
very fortunate that both his parents survived, but that was
Yes.
very rare. That was a very rare thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. So how can that not touch you, right?
Yes.
As a human being.
So important.
I mean, and I think, again, some of those themes really resonate with people today, being a refugee,
Yes.
right? War,
Yes.
you know, coming to a country and having to start over, maybe not knowing a language, not knowing a culture, rebuilding a life. I mean, I think that's something that almost all people can deal with, you know, can have that connection to, because that's a common theme of coming to America,
Yeah.
right?
And I definitely think that we also thought, like, in times like today, like, it's happening on the world stage, all this war, and we feel like it's important to know the past so it doesn't repeat itself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have all of that, but many students do a lot of research projects. I have to be honest, being a teacher myself.
Yes.
All right, they do a lot of research projects. Things touch them. They hear from survivors, or they hear an immigrant story, or they hear a veteran of Vietnam come in and speak to their class. They hear about lots of things, and it sticks with them for a little bit, and then you know what? They continue with their lives.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened to you two. You
Yes.
two are very
Oh.
special because you didn't just do this research project and then say, okay, continuing with 8th grade activities. What did you decide to do with this knowledge? So my coming to meet you, but before that, what did you say that you wanted to do?
We felt that the kinder transfer was super important. We wanted to spread awareness. And we got the idea of this project because we watched the movie Paperclips, and it was about a middle school from Tennessee that also wanted to do a very moving project. And they decided to collect paperclips to dedicate the lives that were that got sent to concentration camps.
The 6 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we got the idea, and then we decided to do clothespins to represent the 10,000 lives that were saved from the kinder transport. And once we collect the 10,000 pins, we wanted it to become an art installation to represent a railroad track that led these kids to safety out of war area.
That is unbelievable. So just so that people can see, they're talking about here are our clothespins, okay? And that they would be decorated, representing children. Personalized to who you are. Exactly.
And
so that it
even-
would bring a human element to it.
It was it was so special.
All right. So you started that.
Yes.
And you did some of the clothespin projects, and you got, I'm assuming, very good feedback. People
Yes.
were very, very connected.
Yeah.
And then what was the next step? So then what happened?
So then we set up P.O. boxes, so if anyone wanted to donate. And with these paper clips, people were even attaching stories. And if they had a relative that was in the Holocaust, and it really brought it to a different level because people were connecting towards it how we connected to it. And we also were speaking to local Chabad houses. And then from there, we were also doing assemblies.
So how did the school presentations happen, Harley? Can you explain what happened?
Therefrom, we did, as Romy told you, our local Chabad. And from that, it took off to talking in a school classroom.
So this was your middle school?
This was our elementary school.
Your elementary
our old
school.
elementary
Your
school.
old elementary school. And you spoke to what grade?
We spoke to 4th grade.
4th grade. Okay.
And it was super amazing. And the teacher, they had a board meeting, and she brought up how moving and special it was. And then from that point, our superintendent said that he would love us to come and meet with a larger group, 4th and 5th grade, for an assembly. And that was just so amazing. Unfortunately, we only got to speak to Ogden Elementary School.
All right.
But this coming year, we're definitely going to make a plan to go to Hewlett Elementary School because we also want to speak with them because Ogden went so well. All the kids were so invested. And I think that each step we take, the more invested we get because we realize people hear about it and there's so many questions. And by them, some people knew about the kinder transport and we fed off of their information.
Right.
So special. Makes us want to do it every day.
Right.
And we could have sat in that gym for hours on end.
Yeah, that's what you said to me when we spoke about how the kids just they didn't want to leave.
Yeah, they were so engaged.
They were so engaged. And
Yeah.
and that's in education, that's everything.
So,
When kids are engaged and they're invested in learning, they're going to go home and they're not going to forget that. So that real hats off to the two of you for making that happen, making people think.
you.
Maybe it's as a teacher, that's what you want.
Yes.
You want a classroom to be that way. So you brought life to something that wasn't there, and it's very much the model of what we're going to do, and that's going to be the next step.
And we are the future. We can tell what the future is going to look like. So by us doing this and by them going home to their parents and sharing what they heard, it was just so important and amazing to us.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and so that's the next step, so that hmTC is involved as well. So meeting with these two lovely young ladies, we decided to come up with an education packet. So what we are planning to launch for the 2025-2026 school year is that we're going to target 50 5th and 6th grade classes. And we are going to have, there are educational materials. We have narratives of some of those Kindertransport survivors. Some are still alive, some aren't, with the hope that maybe people like Manny Corman and Ellen Botner might be able to go into classrooms and speak
Yes.
after the kids learn about this. So we continue that legacy.
Yes.
We're going to have some resource materials, bibliographies, lesson plans, as well as 2 books that we're going to give to the teachers to use and with a reader's theater, and of course the clothespin project. That is going to be the main activity that after the kids learn, read, research, kind of take it on, they're then going to have the clothespins and they will be in the classroom. And the plan, I hope, is that these teachers will then give us feedback and send us pictures, because then it will continue. When a teacher sees photos on Facebook and Instagram about something that's done in the classroom or on your own website, which we'll talk about, they will then say, "Oh, I want to do that." And it leads to the next step, right?
Yes.
And then we're hoping that not only Nassau and Suffolk, but then you guys have this dream of creating your own. You have your own website, your own 501c3 nonprofit, and then you can take this national, international. The sky is the limit, right? So let's talk about the website a little bit. How did that come about?
So we decided to do a website because some people had questions like, oh, how do I make a clothespin project? What is this about? Who are Harley and I? So we decided to make a website. So the main categories are about us, our documentary, survivor stories, and of course our clothespin project. And even on the home screen on the bottom, there's a place where you could share your own story. If you have a story you would like to share, we would love to hear. And
Yes,
there in those sections, there's tons of information. There's even a tutorial of how to make a clothespin.
Wonderful.
There's everything. There's newspapers that we were featured in. And everything that hopefully could answer anyone's questions about our project.
That's absolutely. So how much time did that take?
It took a good amount of time.
Took a good amount of time.
And I'm sure you had some help from us. So we want to give shout outs to 2 very important people who happen to be in our podcasting room, but we want to acknowledge them, don't we? Right?
Yeah.
So go ahead, give a shout out to
Miss Tara Waltman.
And Inga Fruman, our parents.
Yes.
And also my brother, who really made websites before, so he helped us make websites, who's Sean Fruman.
They're really important people in our lives, and they help us through every step of the way.
So, they always, there's certain phrases like it takes a village. Right?
Yes, it definitely does.
And I think sometimes what we have to realize is that we only get certain places in life because of the people who are around us and support us.
And obviously you helping us with
Yes.
everything.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Well, it was really your brainchild. So I just kind of ran with what you started with.
Yes.
All right. But again, it does, and there'll be, I'm sure, many, many, many of these types of relationships that you're going to build throughout your lives as you meet people, and people get very involved and taken with what you're doing. It leads to something else, and it leads to something else, and it leads to something else, and that's the beauty of life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You go where the path that it leads, and then there might also be some rejection too, which we talked about. That we're enthusiastic, we love it, we think this is the greatest thing, but not everybody might view it that way, and there might be people that say I'm not really interested in that, and you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
It's nothing on us, and we just move forward, or we change things. We're going to learn. I'm sure there are teachers that are going to give us certain feedback and say, you know what, this would have been very helpful. And then we develop that and we put that in the education packet.
Yeah.
Everything
It's a
is
learning
it's a learning experience and a growth. And I think that,
Yes.
again, that's extremely important. So what do you see happening with your Kindertransport clothespin project? Like, where do you see yourselves 10 years from now? Is that possible to think about? I know it's a hard question.
I think I can definitely see. So obviously we're gonna be older, but I think that I hope that from us explaining to all these young children, even older people that didn't know about this, I hope that later on they can share their experiences and like the world can calm down because like obviously from us teaching, they're learning. And that like the kinder transport word is more spread. Definitely.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. And Romy, what about you? Do you have
And
any?
like, in 10
Yeah.
years, I hope that like we get to visit classrooms and like see these children learning and like it really like they see how important it was and like we could really they can see how we connected towards it and basically just see how far we've come and how we made an impact on many people.
Absolutely.
And all our efforts coming into play and all our hard work and all our time can really show.
Exactly. And you might have a whole team. Who knows how many people are
Yeah.
going to be part of the Kinder Transport
let's
Clothespin
hope.
Project. We could have like 100 people working with us by
I
that
really
point in
hope.
time. We can always, we live the dream.
Yes.
And whatever it is, whatever path we go down, wherever we wind up, it will be better. We will have an impact. We will affect people, and we will make great strides. So there's nothing that will ever be negative. It's always going to be positive.
Also, more importantly, us still educating.
Exactly.
I think that's important. There's
Yeah.
always room for more education, more learning.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit. We are in the early stages of thinking about doing a little fundraiser or a little awareness at hmTC on September 14th. We might have a small little reception where we're going to invite people to come and see the museum, see the Kinder Transport bench, which is outside that you girls were at the unveiling of. And what's your hope with that event?
So for that event, we just hope that we can teach people and people can be like, wow, this is interesting. I want to learn more about this. And people could really see like our plans and like our hopes for this project and like how we want to teach people and educate people about it and just spread the awareness about the Kinder Transport.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What about you, Harley?
They come out of it being like, wow, they really are invested, and I hope us being invested in the Holocaust and this Kinder Transport project makes them be like, yeah, I really want to help out. I really want to spread the awareness just like they're trying to. Because I feel like when you see our passion, it really makes you want to help.
Exactly. And when you're passionate about something, you're invested in it. And again, one of the pieces for me as an educator, when I see young people so invested and involved and passionate and dedicated and responsible and all of those things, it makes me smile because
Yes, definitely us too.
And so there's a lot to be said for that, and we want other young people to feel the same way. So having the two of you lead this is really very critical. I mean, I can do it too, but it's not quite the same. When we do it together, we have that much more reach.
And you saying that it's like kinder, like children teaching children.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like I feel like yes, when an adult speaks, like it's like a child speaking to another child, so they understand each other. And you see, like in these days, not everyone like is so invested in these type of things. But as young people, we want to educate, and it's really important.
No, I think it's commendable. Absolutely commendable. I cannot stress how impressed I am by the two of you, by your dedication, by your perseverance. There's a lot there, and I know that sometimes we don't give young people the credit that they deserve, and you guys have definitely, gone above and beyond. So
you.
as a director of education here at HMTC, I really am very indebted, and I'm looking forward to great things for this coming school year. So thank you so much for being on our podcast.
Thank you.
All right, and for everyone on, please watch, share, like, subscribe, and spread the word.
Yes.
Yes, spread
Yes.
the word most importantly.
Yes, spread the word. Kinder Transport Clothespin Project. Romy and Harley.